What's up, everybody? This is Brandon with Off the Beaten Path. I'm here in Dayton, Ohio at the National Museum of the Air Force in the footsteps of history. In this episode, we will be checking out flight in its early years, from balloons to the Wright brothers to the importance of aviation during World War I and through the interwar years. You will see the evolution of flight during this period. This is where manned flight all started, in a Montgolfier balloon in 1783. In 1852, Henry Gifford achieved the first powered flight. Here is a model of the Zeppelin LZ-1, flown in 1900, the first rigid dirigible. We got some cool Wright brothers artifacts here, but stay tuned, we got some amazing things to see, like the Wright 1909 military flyer, information on the Red Baron, and the most important part, the planes from World War I and the interwar years, so keep watching. In 1902, they calculated lift and solved their problem of control with a movable rudder. Now they had to figure out propulsion. Charlie Taylor invented a lightweight engine. Now it was time to fly. After a coin flip, it was Wilbur's turn on December 14th, but there was a crash. 3 days later, Orville on December 17, 1903, achieved the world's first powered, sustained, and controlled heavier-than-air flight for 12 seconds and a distance of 120 feet. On August 1, 1907, the Aeronautical Division was created, which was the forerunner of the United States Air Force. You will see throughout this museum, Glenn Curtiss has his fingerprints on many items. Glenn Curtiss, like the Wrights, started with bicycles before his interest in aviation. Curtiss was asked to build an engine for the Baldwin dirigible. Curtiss continued to build engine and airplanes for the military. During World War I, Curtiss's company was the largest producer of aircraft. This reproduction of the Wright 1909 military flyer was the first military heavier-than-air flying machine. Purchased by the Army Signal Corps on August 2, 1909, it was designated Signal Corps Airplane Number 1. Here's an amazing artifact. This is the actual 1903 Wright Flyer fabric. How cool is that? After the United States' reluctance to enter World War I, they eventually did on April 6, 1917, due to three key factors: the sinking of the Lusitania, German U-boats sinking our ships and our travels across the Atlantic, and the Zimmermann telegram. This is a map of the Western Front in 1918. This was the major theater during World War I. Here's a name many don't know, but this is someone everyone knows. This is Baron Manfred von Richthoven, the famous Red Baron. He was famous for over 80 aerial combat victories and the controversy of who killed the Red Baron. He was also easily recognizable in his red Fokker D1 triplane, which you'll see here. It's not red, but this is like the one he flew. This airplane is a standard J1, a two-seater primary trainer used by the U.S. Army Air Service. This is an Avro 504. A biplane aircraft, which was the most produced aircraft of any kind that served in a military capacity during World War I. This plane is the Newport 28. It was the first fighter airplane flown in combat by pilots of the American Expeditionary Forces in World War I. The plane here is the British Sopwith F-1 Camel, which shot down more enemy aircraft than any other Allied World War I fighter. The plane you see here is the Halberstadt CL-4, which was one of the most effective ground attack aircraft of World War I due to its maneuverability. The SPAD-13, a French aircraft, proved to be one of the most capable fighters of the war, and also one of the most produced. Charles Kettering of Dayton, Ohio, invented this unmanned aerial torpedo, nicknamed the Bug. After a predetermined time, a control closed an electrical circuit which shut off the engine. Then the wings were released, causing the Bug to plunge to the earth and detonate. Look at this amazing plane right here. This is the Peperoni Ca36, which is definitely my favorite plane in this section of the museum. The Peperoni Ca36 was an Italian heavy bomber, which was a 3-engine biplane of wooden construction. Check out them awesome machine guns in the front, and also check out the Italian flags in the back. Look at all these amazing squadron emblems. I always love looking at these on bomber jackets and on planes. If you get a chance, pause the video and take a look at these. Check out some of these aircraft engines during World War I. Eddie Rickenbacher was a Columbus, Ohio native, which was a fighter ace in World War I. He achieved 26 aerial victories, which made him the most successful ace in the war. He has a very interesting story, which I will save for a time when I go to his birthplace in Columbus. So check for that in the future. Check out his blue Medal of Honor up there, and here's some of his other medals of valor. Here are a few aviation firsts. The first transcontinental flight from the Atlantic to the Pacific happened on September 4th, 1922 by Jimmy Doolittle from Palm Beach, Florida to San Diego, California. Next is the first dawn to dusk flight, which happened on June 23rd, 1924 by Russell Mann from Long Island, New York to San Francisco. A total of 21 hours, 48 minutes. This is an amazing plane right here. This is a Martin MB-2, MBS-1. It was the first U.S. designed bomber produced in large numbers. This was the Air Force's main bomber till the late 20s. What MBS means is night bomber short range. This plane right here is so cool. This is a Kellett K2, K3 auto gyro. World War II started on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. The next video will focus on the history, stories, and aircraft of World War II. Make sure you check that episode out. Thanks for watching. Until the next one.